The abduction experience is a private nightmare. The only witnesses are those who say they have been taken. The only reports are memories too horrifying to exist in their conscious mind. Memories that have remained buried deep in their subconscious until they are excavated, brought to light by hypnosis.
Getting further and further away from me, away from any extraneous sounds. The expansiveness of the blue sky, the infinity of the blue sky, the expansiveness of our memories, the infinity of our memories, and the fact that we never, ever truly forget anything. And now allow that orange to lighten into the color yellow.
What Fred is about to uncover may grant him permanent membership alongside Jim, Jack, Claire, and Diana in one of the world's strangest and most exclusive clubs. Those who believe they are victims of alien abduction. It starts with being taken against their will.
They have me. I'm trapped.
One night, Claire had just called to bring the dog in at night. I'd just gone upstairs to go to bed. And she called me downstairs. Giant, huge UFO sitting over the orchard.
The beam came down on us, this hollow beam. It was as if it were alive. I don't know how to explain it. It just started doing something. I remembered feeling this intense pressure. This light is affecting me somehow, but I didn't know how. I was losing my sense of balance, out of control, not knowing what was going on. My body felt like it was just going to explode, like it was going to rip apart into 1,000 pieces, and all this is happening at once.
They find themselves somehow transported to a place unlike any they've ever seen.
And where are you?
I don't know.
We're in this huge, giant cavern. It was bigger than any cave I've ever been in. Bigger than 4 or 5 airplane hangars or something, and it was filled with people.
We were separated into smaller groups. Diana was in a different group than I was.
Then the next thing I remembered was being in this room somewhere. It's this brightly lit space, sitting on a bench that came out from the wall like a slab. They were completely naked, had no clothes on, and they were just sitting, staring in front of them as if they were dummies.
Then an otherworldly being emerges.
They're horrible. They're not human.
As I was laying on this slab, this shadowy figure seemed to emerge out of this bright light towards me. They looked like bugs. It was not a person. It was not human.
They look like emaciated, almost colorless, although more gray.
And they had these fingers. There were 4 fingers.
They're 3.5, 4 feet tall. Sort of this dull shade of gray. They have oversized heads.
Very, very thin necks, like pencil-thin necks.
These huge kind of eyes, like insect-type eyes.
The huge eyes are what scare me the most.
Black, deep, deep black.
The depth goes on forever.
They look at you, and it's almost as if they're drilling you with these eyes. I mean, it's like they're draining your brain or something.
No words are spoken, but thoughts are somehow communicated.
It's not like speech, but they're communicating to each other.
I remember thinking, how on earth are they doing this? I'm not hearing them in my ears, I'm hearing them in my mind.
Sometimes I see pictures, and I translate them to mean what those pictures mean to me.
They keep showing us these things, these horrible scenes of destruction.
And then there was this cryptic message that you must cooperate. You will cooperate.
They find themselves paralyzed by some alien force.
They said come with me, but I wouldn't just go with them.
And do you see yourself going with them?
I'm trying to resist.
I felt totally helpless. I had no idea what their motives were. I just kept thinking, why aren't those guys doing something? Because I knew they were close by. I couldn't move my legs. Whatever it was paralyzed my muscles.
Then begins a bizarre examination of their bodies.
The real traumatic part of it was when it finally touched me. I got very frightened for Jack. They had instruments that they were scraping me with. They put this thing in my ear and my nose. And they were looking at my eyes.
the focus turns to the reproductive organs.
Played with my groin and took my sperm.
It seemed like they were taking sperm samples somehow. Suddenly my mind was filled with these, the only way I can describe it is like sexual acts.
It's intrusive. It is violating.
And I became sexually aroused, and they came out with this, some kind of device, and collected a semen sample.
They're holding my legs down. No, it's not.
It's okay. Just relax.
The nightmare worsens as unspeakable procedures transpire.
I was lying on this table where they lowered, something just kind of came out of this light that was over me and came down close to my chest.
And they turned the center lens on, which was bright red. It burned.
I was thinking about survival. I kept thinking, this is the next thing they're going to do is slit me open from one end to the other. These things seemed evil to me.
They stuck a needle in my eye and then popped my eye out of my head.
And put the tube right up against your eye. These little metal things come out and they reach right around the eyeball. They pulled it right out.
Does it hurt?
Oh, yes. They say it's going to be all right, but they took my eye out. I just can't believe they did that.
I'm going to count from 1 to 10. Please keep your eyes closed until I reach the count of 10. When I reach the count of 10, please open your eyes. You will certainly be aware. You will be alert, fully in control. You will remember every single thing that happened, every single thing that was said. You will remember as much of this as you choose to remember.
The deed is now done. Fred's hypnosis has uncovered memories beyond his worst nightmares. Fred now believes he was abducted.
Open your eyes on 10.
Fred now remembers that the UFO he saw didn't crash. It overtook him. He remembers aliens taking him out of his car, conducting a physical exam, taking his sperm, removing his eyeball. And worst of all, he now remembers other abductions, going all the way back to his childhood.
Do you remember?
Yes.
And Fred is not the only one who remembers, not the only one to delve into the dark recesses of his brain and face the aftermath.
We did open a real can of worms,
You're ours. We own you.
reliving some of these experiences,
Why are you doing this to us?
emotions and memories.
You have no need to know.
I don't know if I want to know more. Something has to be the answer.
When is it going to happen again? When are they going to do this to me again? I won't know. I can't stop it.
What do you do next?
Introduction. Please welcome a man with no last name. Simply Fred. Hi, how you doing? My name's Fred. Go ahead, laugh if you want. It's not an easy thing not having a last name. It's not, because like a lot of times people call you by your last name. So, I hear silence. I think somebody's trying to call me. Makes it really tough.
For the first time in over a year, Fred is preparing to get back up on stage.
Last night I had the worst.
He was hoping that hypnosis would help him move forward.
I had this dream.
But when hypnosis brings forth images of alien abduction, is knowing better than not knowing?
But I didn't know whether I had woken up in
Will it help him revive his career? And even now, he still doesn't know why he would have been abducted in the first place.
I often have the impression that they scanned me and discovered I was a comedian, and they're like these intergalactic jokers who said, well, hey, there's a comedian. Nobody will ever believe him. Life is so hard. Takes up all my time. Everywhere I go, people try to make it difficult for me. Try to buy gas. Guy wants to know what my license plate. Right. I look like I have a head for details. I gotta walk back out to my car, bend down, wipe off my license plate so I can read it and repeat it over and over in my head. Walk back up there and say it's F-R-E-D. I don't know how many times that's happened. I haven't